Hi, welcome to Legacy Live.
Yay.
Today we have the fun. We've it's funny. We've got one blurred camera and one not, but we're in the same room. So welcome to. I'm giving you a clear image of what's going on. And Janine, it's Janine.
Janine, I was told by Joel that I'm not allowed to touch anything. So this background, I didn't do that. He did it.
So we just want to say welcome to Legacy Live. We're just going to kind of, this week, we wanted to kind of talk about some stuff that we are doing. If Janine looks like she's a little bit over energetic today, it's because she didn't have her coffee. And this is what happens when you don't have, no, I'm just kidding. We have been working our butts off and this week, and this is one of the opportunities we have to just sit down and just have conversations about what is going on. And so we just want to say welcome to Legacy Live. If you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to put it in the comments. We've got live comments on the side. We are happy to spend some time answering questions if you have it. What is Legacy? We are a customer service and 3PL solutions company. And that's the basics. And so today, this week, we had the opportunity of going from one warehouse to another warehouse. Much smaller warehouse.
A downside.
Yeah, we're talking about downsizing today. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about is what did we do with all of this stuff in the warehouse? Because we have 5,500 square feet?
We have a 4,000 square foot office suite. 1,500 is probably office space, and the other, do the math for that one, it's warehouse.
Yeah, and so we're taking all of that stuff, and our client asked us to process this and just shut down the warehouse and move them to another much smaller warehouse. And so that's what we've been doing. It's taken us we started about a month ago and just kind of working through this whole process. So what does it look like to start to shut down a warehouse? Like what are the processes that you have to go through?
Wow, it's all in my brain. I'm gonna put it out there. Only funny, only joking. So there's a lot of logistics on that. It's like, what do we use here? Well, we use gas, we use electric, we use cable, internet, whatever that is. Okay, contact those companies. Put down the shut off dates. What day we don't want it anymore. I'm so sorry. Deciding we knew the space where it's being moved into, so it's just moving that and jocking the inventories and supplies where it needs to be there.
Trying to do as much as we can ourselves, but bringing in another person when necessary.
Now I love that one because the person we brought in is Carrie, who used to work with us.
Yeah.
And wow.
She was originally one of the founding members of Legacy, but she got an opportunity that she couldn't pass up.
Yeah.
In fact, she's Janine's favorite member of Legacy. Still I don't know how she's not a member of Legacy and she's still Janine's favorite.
Still my favorite.
But she is.
You guys have favorites. She's
my
favorite.
So at what point do you shut the power and the electricity and all that stuff off? Do you organize that before we're out?
Yeah, you have to organize all that beforehand because you don't want to get stuck in an extra month of that you don't need to have.
Okay.
So there's some companies out there, it's like, oh, you didn't give us 30 days notice, so you'll be paid for another month. And it's like, no, this is the forecasted date. This is the day I want it turned off.
Yeah.
And then I go back and I follow up on those things to make sure that they heard what I said was correct and that the next billing, there won't be one.
Yeah. Like we had this one client who was shutting down the warehouse and they had 90 days on their contract, on their lease rental contract, but they didn't pre-plan that they were going to be out of their warehouse and they almost got stuck with an $11,000 fee.
Yeah.
In order for them to get out of the warehouse.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things. It's like, you know what? You have to pay attention to your contracts.
Yeah, pay attention to contract and your timeline. That's important because they were only a few days off, but they were held to that timeline. Like, nope, you didn't do it. And it's like that one kind of really hurt.
Yeah, and it almost and that's one of the things where it's like if we're given the contracts and we're given everything that we're needed to do the job, we will work those timelines and organize it and make it work correctly. However, in this particular situation, we weren't given all of the contracts. We didn't know all of the details. And so one of those things is like when you're shutting down a warehouse and when you're hiring someone to help you shut down a warehouse, you need to give them all of the information.
Now, in that particular that case, they were like, did you call the landlord yet? Did you contact the landlord yet?
Yep.
When are you going to contact them? Okay, this is my last one. I don't mean to sound like a nag. However, I'm trying to save you from a lot of headaches down the road.
Yeah.
Did you contact them yet?
Yeah. And they thought that they had all the time in the world. And what turned out to be is they were actually, what was it, 5 days over?
Yeah,
5 or 10 days over their 90 days. And so they were like, no, you got to pay $11,000. And that was money that they just could not afford to pay.
Yeah. And that was, it was $11,000 to break your contract early because I wanted you to be paying this amount. I think it equivalent to 9 to 4 months. Or you can save for the whole year and pay us $33,000.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the balance that our client ended up having to make that decision because they didn't give us all of the information needed. Now let's go towards more of the fun part of this. Like there's a lot of do's and don'ts in this, but let's go towards more of the fun part. So what does it look like? How do you get rid of this stuff?
Facebook Marketplace is my friend. Let me tell you, I use that for like personal stuff. There's always free cycle if I'm just want to give something away free. So for me, I have a lot of contacts out there now that I've developed throughout the years. So we have stuff that we want to donate. We have people in like blessing boxes. So those are those boxes that you may see in your neighborhood and said, hey, in need, take this staple out or put something in. Well, we have the blessings that we found somebody who does that.
Yeah.
And they do a whole organization of it. But I found one particular person that will take almost anything.
Yeah. And the blessings is our client has given us the opportunity to do what we call a warehouse sale. Mm-hmm. So what we do is, I think is next Saturday is when we've scheduled it.
Yeah.
And possibly even another one if we don't get rid of everything. And we have an opportunity. We want to go through it. It's basically a garage sale for businesses where we get to sell office chairs. We get to sell tables because there was a waiting room in here. Mm-hmm. And we actually get to help other businesses decorate their own place based on what our client in this building has offered us. Yeah. And so it's been a blessing. It's really been a blessing to be like, okay, we can actually help other people. Because that's been our goal all along is like, how can we help people the best that we can?
Absolutely. So now I learned my lesson that we should just do the warehouse sale. Don't put anything in between. Because I did put up a few things on Facebook Marketplace. And literally 2 minutes after I put it up with the things that we wanted to sell, I put my phone down, walked from my living room to the kitchen, and it just blew up. My phone just blew up. Now, mind you, too, I have my phone on silent, on vibrate with my watch, and my watch was like there was an emergency alert thing coming on my hand. It was like over. I was like, oh my gosh. So it was a slew of people just asking questions, and I didn't put that many details in but I probably should put more details in. But I was kind of in a rush, and it's like, how bad can it be? I had hundreds and hundreds of questions all throughout the day. And finally, we sold a few things within 2 days. And finally, I said, I just got to mark this whole thing sold because I couldn't keep up with it. Yeah.
It's one of those things where that extra 20 minutes of putting in details and pictures saves you a lot of help.
It sure does.
But also what you can do is the Facebook Marketplace, when we're having a warehouse sale, the Facebook Marketplace is a great opportunity to be like, hey, there's a whole bunch of stuff for sale. It's going to be for sale between this time and this time on this day. Come check it out. Yeah. And what it does is, because we live in a fairly densely populated area, and it gives people an opportunity to be like, oh, hey, I want something like that. Or like what would you call them? The pie.
Oh, the pie crust.
The pie crust tables. Yeah. Whereas it's these beautiful, really ornate tables that our client had. And it's like, okay, we're moving them on. And I know people who pay $150, $200 for tables like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't care. We just want to get rid of it because the client's warehouse is in a different state than they're in.
Yeah.
And so they're like, no, let's get rid of it. It needs to go. And so it's like, even then it's like, this is going to be a lot of fun. The warehouse sale is going to be a blast.
It is.
So, and that's what we do with that. Now, how about setting up the other warehouse? How is that?
Well, this one was much differently. It's really great when you set up a brand new fulfillment center somewhere because you get everything else in brand new. You just start, have everything. But this is a company that's been in business for a while, and some things you just don't want to get rid of.
Yeah,
you want to take with you. So that's just, it's timing. Like, what is the timeline that they're closing, right?
Yeah.
So they want to be out by October 31st, but we want them to be fully functional by October 15th.
Yeah.
And even though I think that leaves on a Sunday, on that Monday, on the 16th, they're going to be ready to roll. So it's doing the time. It's like, okay, we got to get all the racking system, everything into the new location so they can begin Monday morning, do their labeling, the fulfillment, and out the door. So,
and one of the reasons why we chose the 15th is because there's situations where not everything happens on time.
Right.
Even though you plan and you have it, this date this happens, this date this happens, this date this happens. When you actually, there's a verse in the Bible that I love. It's in the Message Bible, so it's not the exact translation, but it says, "You do your best, you prepare for the worst, and trust God to bring the victory." Mm-hmm. And when in a situation like this, where you're moving a business from one location to another, you do your best, but you also know that sometimes things don't go according to plan. And so you want to give yourself this 2 weeks to sit there and go, okay, we've got this place for another 2 weeks, mm-hmm. and we can really move. We can use that time if necessary to finish up the loose ends.
Oh, absolutely. And, it's great for that.
And those extra 2 weeks are invaluable. Mm-hmm. Most of the time it doesn't take us those extra 2 weeks. Most of the time we're done on time. However, you want that spare time just in case.
And this situation was a little different because not only are they moving, well, we switched over what CRM type of thing.
Yeah.
But from one company to another, where we put the labels, I can't even think of the word, what the heck that's even called right now. But we switch out to where they'll be saving money in one area. If you use this system, opposed to what you're using now, you're going to right off the beginning save $200 a month because this system is free. The other one, you have to pay royalty monthly thing to it, membership every month to it. And this other place actually even guarantees the postage to be lower than the other company.
And one of the blessings for this is, because we both do this. So if you don't know, I guess I should have said this right at the beginning. Janine is our third-party logistics expert. She does this stuff hands down. Like, this is what she knows. She's got more information in her brain than I believe Google has. So just because she knows so much of this. And what we do is, and that's one of the things we offer our clients, is when we're doing this, we sit there and go, okay, you're paying too much for this. If we move you over here, you'll be paying a lot less for the exact same value. And we do that with call centers. We do that with third-party logistics. We do that with packaging. How many times have we looked up what a number one envelope costs? It's almost like a monthly occurrence, it feels like.
It's like we have it on a sheet.
Yeah.
I mean, we have our numbers, but forget it.
But
actually, you add this and you add 10 more after that, that drops down off my brain.
Yeah. But also, it's like when you add inflation, every month some stuff is going up. Every month we talk about inflation in a grocery mindset where the chicken goes up. I was in a town in small town Saskatchewan in Canada, and the chicken for 3 breasts of chicken, it was like $26. And it was like, oh my goodness, that was during that. It was like the height of COVID. In fact, the CEO of that company ended up getting fired. But the idea of this was, it's like, we understand inflation's happening and we need the most up-to-date information constantly so that we can pass it on to people like you who are hiring us to do this stuff. And so what you're doing is, now I feel like I'm doing an infomercial on Legacy.
We don't.
But so whatever, it's what it is this efficiency is something that we just do naturally. And it's part of who we are, because we want you to have the best opportunities to succeed. And going back to this warehouse, it was a cheaper option for our clients. It's a cheaper option for our clients. It's a cheaper option all around. And we were able to save them some money on the warehouse.
Yeah.
Solution.
That's
warehouse
expensive.
solution. Yeah.
Cheaper doesn't mean better.
Yeah.
But in this case, it does.
It depends on where your company is. Like if there's a company that's making $75 million a month, you know what?
You shouldn't be downsizing. There's an issue right there.
There's an issue
There's
there.
a money control issue somewhere.
You realize I just described Twitter. I mean X. I guess it's called X now. Where X down when Elon Musk bought it, they were bringing in I think like a couple $100 million a month, and they were losing money. And I'm like, I think y'all need to fix something. Anyways, but it's like, you need to sit there and go, okay, if you're losing money, why are you losing money?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what the core of this is that if you're downsizing, there's an opportunity to say, okay, why are you downsizing? And is this a company problem or is this a product problem?
Yeah.
And that's the real core of it.
Dynamics of everything. I mean, they have, owners in business need to go and look exactly, what's going on. Like there's some companies that go out, and this particular one is they put the trust in, okay, this area I'm not good at, and they just gave free reign into an area that shouldn't be given free reign to. That I don't see my.
I'm going to just rephrase that because,
but
so what happened was there was one area of the company where they gave free reign to their bookkeeper, I think it was, who maybe shouldn't have had free reign right away.
Mm-hmm.
And so they ended up actually needing to downsize because their bookkeeper didn't really keep the books.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things where when you're a business owner, you have to know who you're trusting what to and what their expertise really are. And I'm sure that I'm sure that they had good bookkeeping at one point in time.
Absolutely.
But as the company got over and over and over, things happened. And so they ended up having to downsize their entire business and sit there and go, okay, well, the business was never as healthy as they thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're downsizing now, hoping to save the business. And we're doing our best to help them.
Yeah, because that's what we want them to do.
Yeah, we don't want
people to fail over, especially stuff like this.
Over a simple mistake like this.
Yeah.
And it really hurts our hearts, but this is, and it's a blessing that we get the opportunity to work with the people we're working with.
Absolutely.
And so we'll continue to work with them as we are setting up our own system and our own client base.
Yeah.
As this is the first time we've ever had to close down a warehouse. This is the first time a client has asked us to do that. So we have the opportunity to do this over and over. And the next time we do it, it'll be way better and way more efficient than this. So on a side note, if you guys are in New Jersey and you're shutting down a warehouse, we know how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've now done it.
If you're in the tri-state area, Maryland, Delaware, we do that too.
Yep.
I'm not quite sure if I'll do New York. Joel might go to New York. I'm sorry I lived in New York. I don't want to go back.
I like New York. I like the idea of it because I've never been there.
I don't like cities. That's what it is. I don't like close-knit cities, hustle and bustle. I like the idea of it. I used to say I would love to go live in New York City and be able to walk everywhere and go to all the bistros and little tiny little stores here and there. Really, should have kept it right to dream because I made it a reality and I don't like it.
So we have about a minute left.
All right.
I would love to know the one thing that you've learned this week.
Attitude.
What do you mean?
I need to really adjust my attitude in some areas. Wow, I think what I really learned this week is just taking things one step at a time.
Yeah. And
writing stuff down that you need to get done.
Yeah.
And
Monday board.
Joel, I love Monday board. I love Monday board. Joel loves it now too.
I'm learning to use it. We're just working towards that. It's something that we need to have, especially when doing a shutting down a warehouse. It's stuff that we need to have in place. So we got it and we're moving forward. Like I said, everything that we do is a step forward. We're moving forward with it. So.
I like now too that I did the 8:45 to 9 a.m. specific for certain things. This is how we're going to start our day.
Yeah. So Janine started time blocking this week. That's what it's called, is time blocking, saying this is how much time we're going to spend on this, and then this is how much time we're going to spend on the next thing. And time blocking is a great strategy. Maybe next time we'll talk a little bit more about that. I don't know. We'll see what happens this next week because it could be a big week for us. So.
It is, yeah.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you so much for joining us for Legacy
you.
Live, where we rant and banter and have a little bit of and just talk about what we learned for the week.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great day.
Yeah.
All right. See ya.
Bye.